Hello guys and welcome to another video. Well, today we have here a MultiJet engine, a 1.3 MultiJet engine that has a very severe oil consumption. Already did talk about this in 2 videos or 3 videos in the past, and now it's time to do the job itself. So this happens here on the 1.3 MultiJet engines and starts to happen too on the 1.6 liter MultiJet engine, but not so often. So what happens is you have low oil on your oil sump, then you start to have problems on your turbo because of the lack of lubrication. Okay, so what we are going to do is to remove here the injectors to open the passageway in which we are going to put the .4 brake fluid or 3 on top of the pistons. To better have the opportunity to clean the piston rings, that is the objective of this work, I will rotate the engine ever so slightly in order to the pistons to be almost all on the same level, okay, to create a nice big space for the fluid to act during the night. So I will put the oil in, or the fluid in, and I will wait about 24 hours to do the effect on the piston rings, to the liquid to take out all of the carbon, to get rid of all of the carbon on the piston rings, and in that way the piston rings will start to do again the job of scraping off the oil to the oil sump. Okay, that is not happening right now. If you are having a very hard time removing the injectors, I do have a video for that, a very nasty job that I found on the GT. So taking out here the washer, the cone shape washer, and the nut, and now it comes off 2 at a time. I hope. Yeah, it's coming off. If you want to take advantage of this job, remove or replace the washers, the copper washers, like I told you on the other video. Okay, these ones appear to be recent. In fact, these injectors appear to be out of the car not so long ago, which is good for me. I usually use this liter divided by 4, so 250 milliliters for each cylinder. After a few hours you can go back here and fill up again the ones that are which the oil is disappearing, which means that they are the ones most affected by the carbon. Normally this process works very well. Never saw one so far that it didn't. But if it does not work, if the engine still continues to consume oil, you can repeat this process how many times you want. And if even so does not work, you have to open the engine completely to solve the issue with the piston rings. So far, this process works very, very, very well. As I turned the engine, you saw that only one really big bang happened. I think it was on the first cylinder, which means that the 2, 3, and 4 were the most affected ones, which means that the oil disappeared altogether to the oil sump on number 2, 3, and 4. Number 1, not so much. What you have to do next is to start the car. You have to drive the car a little bit to warm it up, and try to use a additive to do a flush on the oil, take out all of the oil of the engine, a new filter, and start using 5W40 every 10,000 kilometers. Remember on my videos, how do you remove this brake fluid from the surfaces? I told you on so many of my other videos. I will not show on this video because I don't want to repeat myself. It begins to be very annoying, and I do not want that. This was in the first place. The first start may be a little bit noisy because this brake fluid is flammable. Be really careful not to lose these clips. Connecting here the connector for the fuel pump. You can't remove the relay or remove the fuse. I do not remember which one is, so I did like this. Now at this stage, normally I tell you to cycle the ignition to take out the air of the fuel lines and whatnot. But on this case, it is a little bit different, because remember that we already have liquids inside of the combustion chambers. Okay, that process of rotating the engine does not get rid of all of the liquids. So I will crank the engine even without cycling the key to get the opportunity to remove all of that liquids, that brake fluid, and at the same time the fuel will come with much less speed, if I can say so, and in that way I can have a smoother start. Remember that the engine may want to start to hydrolock. If that's so, you want to turn off the ignition, try again to rotate the engine, and off and on and off and on, so you can try to not to damage anything, including the starter. Okay. Okay, I do not notice any hydrolock situation, so I will cycle the key a bunch of times to be easier to start the engine. About 20 seconds. Turn it off for a bit. Another 20 seconds. Repeat this process 3, 4 times, 5 times, and now we can really crank it. Okay, now a lot of smoke, it is to be expected. You have to drive the car for a bit. In the rear of the car, I have to see with the problem. In the rear of the car may have a little bit of moisture of that brake fluid. So you have to wash the car, the back of the car, to not to ruin the paint job. Be very careful with that, okay? Here you have it, another video. This smoke over here got me thinking on one thing. Every time you see a car go by with the smoke on the exhaust, you say, or you may think, well, here he goes doing another regen. Remember one thing that I told you many times on my channel. No car doing a regen should be noticeable doing so. Not for the driver, not for the one behind you. The smoke during a regeneration, it means that you have some problem on your exhaust. Well, on this case, you have some contamination of oil on your exhaust. You have to find out why do you have that contamination, solve the contamination like you did over here, and now during the first or the second regeneration, all of the oil, the excess oil that is on the DPF should come out immediately, okay? No regeneration should be noticeable by the driver or the passenger or someone seeing the car go by, okay? Down on the description you have more videos for DPFs, you have videos for brakes, for suspension, for gearbox, for clutches, for crank north start. You really have a lot of stuff that can and will be useful for you. Also, down on the description you have links for helps for the channel if you are able to do so. I see you next time, guys. Bye.